So to those people who've tuned in already, and we're going to go live in about 15 minutes time, and we're going to be speaking to Allah then and having an informal chat until then.
Hello.
But tell us where in the world you are. Use the chat section. Anon says the camera's boot, the camera's brother, it means in Afrikaans. But tell us where in the world you are. So Kim Cohen is busy watching us from Toronto in Canada. She immigrated from Johannesburg 40 years ago, but she's still tuned in. Mark is in Cape Town, and Yossi Levitt says, "Ala Dakka, why did you kill her?" from South Africa. And we've got Rich Godwin from Louisville, Kentucky. And Cecil and Kathy in Cape Town, they look forward to some great boxing moves tonight. I see Allah's camera has probably fallen apart again. Maxine has joined in from Modien. We've got Shireen Sack from Johannesburg. Hi there from Cheltendale in Johannesburg. And Yaniv says, no spoilers, please. And we've got people like Grena Hurwitz in Bantry Bay in Cape Town. Bernice and Dieter in Cape Town. Raki in Durban. We say, hey, Ori from Froma Sachs in Johannesburg. Yehuda says, love from Israel, especially to my brother Michael Seif. Mike, great to see you. Welcome on board. And Allah, you haven't met yet. Michael Seif, who you'll see at the top of your screen, who heads the Zionist Federation in South Africa. We have Theo from Cape Town, Ariella from Toronto in Canada. So we appear to have a lot of people who've joined tonight from Canada. We have Dan and Bern, welcome from Cape Town, from people in Mooley Point. We also get a lot of people from East London, Port Elizabeth, Durban. You've never been to South Africa, have you?
Never in my life, not yet. I didn't have the pleasure, but I will.
Good. Well, you've got a huge fan base here. Did it surprise you that you seem to have so many people who're such huge fans at the bottom of the tip of Africa?
I'm just wishing I could be there with you and not having a video call, but to be there and see the people. But, hopefully for better times.
Those times will come. We have hello from Durban from Sharon King, and Karen Miller says hello from Johannesburg, and we have people in Milnerton in Cape Town as well. And Danae says the best series ever, waiting with bated breath for the follow-up. Good to see you, Allah. So Ori and Mike, why don't you turn on your cameras and join the conversation? We're going to go live in about 13 minutes time. You will notice that our president decided to address the nation in about 40 minutes time. He doesn't necessarily say terribly much, but if he does say anything of importance tonight, we'll be posting it in the chat section as well. But generally, the last few presidential addresses you could miss quite happily. Occasionally, he takes away alcohol. Occasionally, he brings it back. You're not allowed to smoke in South Africa at the moment. It's illegal. Or let's redefine it. It is legal to smoke marijuana. It's not legal to smoke tobacco at the moment in South Africa. And in anticipation of every time our president is about to address, hundreds of people or thousands of people go out and buy alcohol in case he bans it in his presidential address. So that happened last Sunday. Those people who never got out when he spoke to us last Sunday missed out, and now they're scrounging around looking to buy alcohol, and 2 and 3 times the normal price for this alcohol. So, Mike, are you stocked up at home?
I think I was just thinking how we are actually stocked up at home, but I think for tonight it's going to be about going to buy crayons and pencils and school books, because I think that's going to be high on his agenda. So we'll have to see. But the alcohol is good.
Fantastic. And Ori, where are you in the world?
So I'm currently at my home in Rishon LeZion, which is near Tel Aviv. Our offices are in Jerusalem. It's quite hot here, not like in Joburg or South Africa, where I see you guys with long sleeves. It's hot like the temperature of FAUDA season 3.
Well, I don't know, Ori, if it applies to you as well, but Allah, every time I watch an episode of FAUDA, I feel like I have to check in for therapy. Oh, I think you're on mute, Allah. We can't hear you. No, still can't. Something's happened to the sound. Nope, sound gone. Okay, now you're on mute. Talk to us. No, still can't hear you.
Allah, can you press on the button near the mute where the microphone is? There's an arrow. And make sure that you select the microphone as a...
How are we now?
Oh, yeah, now we're perfect. Now we're back.
Okay. Okay.
So I was just telling people that, in fact, after every episode of FAUDA I watch, I have to check in for trauma therapy. It's like getting PTSD.
I said I'll take that as a compliment.
I think that may be a compliment. Now, we are trying to get Mike to actually start watching FAUDA. He may be the only person tonight who hasn't watched all the episodes. Mike, did we get you to start yet?
You know, I had to start in season 3 rather than right in the beginning. But I believe, Allah, and just reading about a bit of your experience, you also specifically didn't watch it before actually getting into the role. So I think I'm in good company. But now I'm sure after this evening, I'll get into the whole series. I mean, what else is there to do in South Africa?
We may test you at the end of this interview to see how much you've learned.
Up to it.
So, Ori, tell us, in Israel, is FAUDA as big in Israel as it is internationally?
Yes, I think from, look, it's broadcasted on Yes, which is the satellite company in Israel. So people that don't have it at home struggle to find the episodes. I remember when I tried first, they have a Facebook page that they send some teasers, so people will subscribe to Yes satellite company. But then today with Netflix, and now it's also on Netflix in Israel only since April. Around the world, season 3 went out much before it went out here in Israel, Netflix. So we were all disappointed and had to wait for the season 3 on Netflix. But I think today everyone loves it, and I'm looking forward and hopefully for future seasons.
Well, that's absolutely amazing. So, Ori, explain to us, you in fact work for Gusti Yeshua Braverman at the World Zionist Organization Department of Diaspora Affairs. What exactly does that do?
Right, so I'm sure most of our audience here know about the World Zionist Organization, which in short is WZO. Our department, which is the Department of Diaspora Affairs, as you mentioned, headed by Mrs. Gusti Yeshua Braverman, do work with all diaspora Jewry communities around the world. Our branches around the world consist of 33 Zionist federations, which the SAZF, the South African Zionist Federation, is one of our success federations that operate and do stuff, do activities for the Jewish community, and we support them with our programs and with our budget that we allocate to the Zionist federations. And unfortunately, since the beginning of COVID-19, since lockdown in Israel in March, we shifted all our programs and all our activities around the world online on Zoom under the umbrella of iVision Live. And tonight is a wonderful partnership that we're doing together with SAZF through iVision Live, hosting Dakka from FAUDA.
Fantastic. Mike, in fact, the people at the South African Zionist Federation have been talking for at least a year about getting someone from FAUDA to South Africa. It's amazing that you guys have actually pulled this off and managed to convince Allah to join us tonight.
Yeah, it's been something that we've been really working on for the last couple of years. I'm glad we had to wait for season 3, and I'm glad that it actually turned out that we could do this online and with so many people involved. But it's certainly something that we've been wanting to do as we try and promote and protect Israel in South Africa, both to Jewish and to the broader South African population. It's always good to export some things from Israel, whether it's high tech or cultural and the arts. It's a fantastic opportunity. So we really thank Allah and Ori and the team for putting it together, and of course the Jewish Report as well.
So, Mike, one of the things that, in fact, the Zionist Federation has been doing, and we're going to see it in a video a little later, is you've been getting Israeli tech, bringing it to South Africa, masks and all sorts of things. Tell us about that.
Sure. So as I said, what we try to do within the South African community, both Jewish and broader, is to promote Israel. And that could be from a political side, from actual knowledge, all of the, from that perspective. But importantly, and especially at this time during COVID, there is so much good tech and good learnings that we in South Africa and elsewhere in the world can actually apply to our current situation. So we've worked very hard with our partners in Israel to bring the best of the technology, of the learnings to South Africa. I mean, you'll see it in the video a bit later. It's a very short video. One in particular is the masks, and very high-end masks that are produced in Israel for doctors and people really in the front line. And Hatzola, actually, in South Africa, in Joburg, we managed to get them a whole lot of masks through our partners in Israel, and bringing tech that will assist us in South Africa dealing with the pandemic.
That's amazing. And together with Kadema, I know you are handing out sanitation and masks to people. You're involved in food programs as well to try bring food to people.
Yeah, I'll just say one thing about that is within the South African Zionist Fed body, there's a particular organization, South African Friends of Israel, SAFI, which it's mandated to try and bring the best of Israel particularly to the non-Jewish and the Christian community in South Africa. And through SAFI, we've really been pushing, whether it's food, whether it's the technology, and really all different sorts of interventions that we can to assist us and assist the poorest of the poor, actually, within South Africa, and the people who are desperate for some assistance. And that we've been doing through SAFI under the Fed and with our partners in Israel.
Well, tonight we're going to raise some money for SAFI as well and help SAFI feed some people in dire need of food tonight. So thank you for allowing us to do that. Thank you for using our platform for such good causes. And we're going to answer a few of the questions that have come in already. Gavin Meltz wants to know, how does he watch FAUDA? And the answer is Netflix is the answer. And Linda B wants to know, is Series 3 of FAUDA out? So, Alla, when did Series 3 come out?
When did it come out? I think it came out at it came out in March in Israel, and I think it came out in June on Netflix.
And I know it was out in South Africa because I didn't see my father for about a week or two as he hid away and watched all the episodes of FAUDA as soon as he could. He binged watched from the beginning.
Wow. That's insane.
So we're going to go live in about 4 minutes time. I see there are lots of questions coming in. We've got more than 1,000 people on Zoom already, 520 odd logins. People are joining on Facebook as well. We find, I don't know if you have the same thing in Israel, Israeli time. In South Africa, we have South Africa time. No one can actually arrive exactly on time. So the room fills up in the 10 minutes after we actually begin.
Well, it's around the same here. It's the same here. We have our time as well, actually.
Fantastic. And we are joined tonight. We're going to say a very quick hello. I think he's on the panel already. Colin Nathan. Colin,
Viva,
welcome.
guys. Viva, shalom. Hi. Good to see you guys.
So Alla, Colin Nathan is the top boxing coach in South Africa. We made him watch a few episodes of FAUDA, and a little later he's going to give you some boxing advice.
Well, I don't know if I'm going to give him advice because I think he's doing a great job, but certainly, one or two tips. But yeah, big respect to any actor who wants to obviously play the role as a boxer or, box in the role that he's playing. So big up to you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. What a pleasure.
So, Alla, what did it take to actually learn how to box? Because there are quite a few boxing scenes, particularly in the first few episodes of FAUDA.
Well, before I started, when I knew it's going to be a boxer, to work out a lot. I don't think I've ever gone into a gym before I got the role in FAUDA. I think it was one of the first times I ever got into a gym. I needed to eat more. I needed to keep some sort of a routine that I never had before in my life.
Okay, we're hoping that in fact Alla's internet connection comes back. We always thought the Israelis had great tech, maybe not so much. Alla, are you back with us? Hello, can you hear us? Oh no, your microphone's gone again. No, I'm afraid still silent. Can't hear you. Okay, that seems to be
How
better.
about now?
Yeah, now we're back.
Okay, I don't know why it's doing that. I hope it's not going to do it very often.
So you were telling us you hadn't been in a gym before, but you started eating, you started training.
I needed to keep some sort of routine. It's very important, and to put myself in a different state of mind. I stopped smoking, but I came back to it right after the shooting were done.
Fantastic. Well, the time has just gone 7:30. Colin, we're going to be seeing you a little later on, so we're stopping your camera. But a huge welcome to absolutely everyone. It's amazing. We've had in excess of 2,000 people who've already, in fact, registered for tonight. And we see the room is filling up really, really quickly. So on behalf of the South African Jewish Report, we want to welcome everyone this evening. It's absolutely amazing, this partnership that we've developed together with the South African Zionist Federation, as well as the World Zionist Organization, to be able to bring you events such as tonight's event. And I know the Zionist Federation has in fact been working on getting someone from FAUDA to South Africa for probably the last year and a half. And we're so delighted that Allah has agreed to join us, albeit digitally rather than in person. But we know the time that will come when we'll host him in person in South Africa. So Mike, to you and your team at the Zionist Federation, a huge thank you, and especially to Ori. Ori, you used to in fact live in South Africa. You were shaliach in South Africa for a number of years. Now in fact you're with the World Zionist Organization. You work with, in fact, in the Department of Diaspora Affairs at the World Zionist Organizations. You work in fact with Mrs. Gusti Yeshua Braverman. She was in South Africa I think last year or the year before, so people here know her really well. And you've launched this amazing project called iVision Live, which we've partnered together with yourself and the Zionist Federation in order to bring Allah here tonight. So a huge thank you for helping us put this together. We hope this is, in fact, the start of many of these where we can bring some of the icons of Israeli culture to South Africa and to the South African broad Jewish community as well as the general community. So a huge thank you to you, Ori, for everything that you've done. And please pass our good regards on to Gusti. She's very much loved in South Africa. And thank you for the amazing work that the World Zionist Organization, in particular, the Department of Diaspora Affairs, does for everyone in South Africa. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, and I'm sure we'll have a great evening.
Fantastic. So just very quickly before we begin, we explain to everyone at the start of every webinar that in fact you have a number of buttons at the bottom of your screen. You have a button that says chat. If you would like to chat amongst yourselves, if you would like to tell us who you are, if you'd like to tell us where you're watching from, we would love to hear from you. So please, put all of that into the chat button. We'd really love to hear where you're watching from. We'd love to have your comments along the way. We'd love to know what you're thinking. But if you have any specific questions that you'd like to pose to Allah Dakka, there's a button that says Q&A. And that's where we'll be monitoring and we'll be checking all of the questions coming in this evening. So this is, in fact, I think, number 39 of our lockdown panels that the South African Jewish Report has put on. And welcome to all of you. I see, in fact, we have about 1,800 people in the Zoom room and many more people watching on YouTube as well. So lovely to have you all here. It really is such a great pleasure to see you all. And to Dan Stillerman. Dan Stillerman, you are like the Hani Al-Jabri of Zoom. You're the one who makes things happen.
I'm boxing behind the scenes here.
You're definitely boxing behind the scenes. A huge welcome to you and a huge thank you for everything that you've done in putting tonight together.
My pleasure. Thank you, Howie.
So Allah, Dan spends so much time on Zoom, his back goes into spasm, his neck goes into spasm. So I'm hoping you'll give him a few exercises tonight to actually get him right.
I'm counting on that.
So fantastic, guys.
Hello, Dan.
Hey, Allah, nice to meet you. Good to be on the panel with
Nice
you.
to meet you. Good to
So
be here
Dan,
as well.
We'll hear from you a little later, and just very quickly to tell you what our next two webinars are coming up. So Saturday night is our next webinar, and we have the most amazing, in fact, webinar ahead of us on Saturday evening. We are going to be matching people who survived with those who saved them. So, for example, I don't know if you know, there was a Japanese a diplomat in Lithuania called Sugihara, who issued during the Holocaust, who issued visas and allowed about 6,000 Jews to escape Lithuania during the Holocaust. So we are, in fact, linking up the Sugihara family together with Rabbi Yossi Goldman in South Africa, whose family was saved by Sugihara. We are taking Tali Nates from the Holocaust and Genocide Center, whose family was saved by Oskar Schindler. Her father and uncle were, in fact, on Schindler's List. And we're linking up, in fact, experts on Schindler together with Tali Nates, who is a descendant of one of Schindler's List. And we're also going to Rwanda, where, in fact, we have tracked down one of the people who saved an entire orphanage during the genocide in Rwanda. He saved more than 400 kids. And we're linking him together with some of the kids from the orphanage that he saved. And we're going to be bringing that to you 8 p.m. on Saturday night. It's going to be the most remarkable, heart-wrenching, unbelievable evening. So the link is up. It's SAJR 40. It is, in fact, the 39th panel that we're doing, not number 40. And we're going to be talking about Oskar Schindler. We're going to be talking about Sugihara, and we're going to be talking about Carl Wilkins as well. That's Saturday night. And then on Tuesday, this doesn't apply to you because an Israeli passport gets you almost anywhere in the world. But a South African passport, you need a visa to everywhere. And so the issue of getting a second passport is a crucial thing for South Africans. And we're going to be bringing people advice on Tuesday night on how to apply for a Lithuanian passport, a Latvian passport, the UK, Spain, Portugal, Cyprus, Holland, whatever. So join us on Tuesday evening if you're looking for a second passport. And Ale, if you want a second passport as well, let us know and join our webinar on Tuesday evening. So guys, thank you so much. And I see the Zoom room is almost at its peak at the moment, so we're going to be sending everyone else onto YouTube to watch the rest of tonight's broadcast. But Ale Dakka, welcome. You are a beloved character in South Africa, even though you haven't been here. You have a huge fan base in South Africa, and you have, in essence, the most fascinating, interesting life. You grew up in Beersheba. You grew up of Israeli Arab parents. You're Muslim yourself. You lived in a predominantly Jewish neighborhood. You went to school in kibbutz. You have become one of the great superstars of Israeli theater and movies. Tell us about your life.
Well, like you said, I grew up in a Jewish community, and through my whole life, I had this about where do I belong? What life did I come to? Where do I want to put myself as a kid? And as a kid, all you want to be is popular. So all I wanted to be is just to be popular. So I just tried to be friends with everybody. So that's how I speak both languages pretty fluent. And my life were pretty usual. Like I didn't feel any racism. I didn't feel it too much. I mean, I knew I was different, and it made a lot of things maybe a little harder for me. But like I grew up, I think, in a beautiful mixture of all kinds of identities that are you can find in Israel. People that came from Russia, and people that came from Ethiopia, and people that came from all over the globe. And as kids, all we cared about is just playing soccer, and that's what we did, and that's what I did when so I had, like, only when I grew up I realized that I started to ask questions about my past, about where my parents came from, and an artist.
So you're a remarkable artist, but you're not just an actor. you actually started out as a singer. When did you realize that you had all of these talents, whether it was acting or music? When did that actually occur to you that what you had was something special?
Well, you never know what you're doing is special. You just do it, and if something happens, you're happy about it. And actually, to be honest, I didn't used to be a singer at school or in high school. I didn't sing. Only until 12th grade. When I reached 12th grade, that was the first time on stage that I had a chance to sing. So it really came really late for me, like 17 or 18. And then I did a Shnat Shirut, which is a service year. And I worked out with the community in Bat Yam. So really things came very, very late for me. Only when I was 21, 22, I realized that I want to be an actor. Sorry about that. Just a second. I'm going to turn off the phone. So it really came very late for me. So until today, I don't know if I'm going to be continuing to be an actor for the rest of my life, or I'm going to find or go back to music. But I just go with the flow. As we can see, the fact that we're having a Zoom call instead of meeting in person is that the world is unpredictable. So you just have to go with the flow.
So tell us about your national service. What did you do during national service?
We were a group of artists that decided that we want to do something about our lives. My friends didn't go to the army, and they stayed 1 year before going to the army. And I didn't want to go to the army, but I didn't want to go to law school like my dad wanted me to go. So I decided to do 1 year in Bat Yam, where I work with kids, and I'm volunteering in some schools, and we're working together in music. Back then, I didn't know I like acting. I didn't want to be an actor. I never wanted to be an actor until I went to acting studio. I wanted to be a singer, so I worked with kids on music, and we became great friends. Yeah, and that was one of the best things I think I've ever done in my life, because you actually know, you see the real people of the country, you see what's the truth. And sometimes I think that with all that, with all the saying they say in the news, and today as you grow up, you watch the news more often, you forget who are the real people that are building this country. It was a beautiful year for me. It was I think it was a little bit more than a year. I lived in Bat Yam. I used to wake up in the morning in school and teach some girls and boys to write songs, and we used to read literature, and it was a great thing. I think it was a great opportunity for me, and that was the first time I realized I want to do something that has nothing to do with law and university yet.
So how did your parents take to the fact that you wanted to be an artist rather than a lawyer?
They were very scared. They were very scared. They wanted me to be safe. They wanted me. My dad is a lawyer, so they wanted me to have a safe life, to make the money that I need to make in order to build a family. And they were very scared, and I think they're scared until today. Just know that I'm too big now for them to handle. So I'm doing my own decisions now.
So, in fact, you really hit the big time in Israel when you appeared on the Israeli Voice. So, before we discuss your singing career, I'm going to ask you just to check your internet connection. But while we do that, Dan's just going to play us, in fact, an extract from your audition from The Voice.
All right.
Another turning point, a fork stuck in the road. Time grabs you by the wrist, directs you where to go. So make the best of this taste and don't ask why. It's not a question but a lesson learned in time. It's something unpredictable, but in the end it's right. I hope you had the time of your life. So take a photograph and still frame in your mind, hanging on a shelf in good health and good time. Tattoos and memories and dates get on trial. For what it's worth, it was worth all the while. It's something unpredictable. It's right. I hope you had the time of your life. It's something unpredictable, but in the end it's right. I hope you had the time of your life. It's something unpredictable, but in the end it's right. I hope you had the time of your life.
So, Allah, how did that go? And now you get a perfect view of Allah's bedroom behind him. Allah, come back, come back. Well, while Allah is in fact getting back to us, we'll talk about his music career in a second. But Dan, Allah's also famous not just for FAUDA, but for many other shows that in fact he's appeared in. So why don't we look at his show real quickly and then we'll get back to Allah.
خلي خلاص تفضل ما نجد لي مجال ما انت جدت مش تلوي ببنادم تجدي لي هات ما يودي هيوجي متو الثورة الكبرى تحرير فلسطين حكي وحكي وحكي عشان يساوي هم قتلوا أولادي. لم قتل بالكفار يوم وليلة. والراجل مرق أسبوع كامل بدون ما ننام. مستحيش دمك؟ بالقرآن. الجرايد الكفار. عايش ببيت فخم ولابس بدلات وبتاكل مطاعم وجاي تحكمني أنا؟ مين أنت تحكمني أنا؟ بطلت تشوف. علشان هيك أنا انبعثت لهون علشان أساعدك تشوف خليني أساعدك كانت خلايت لنا باشا بن خمالة ذات غداميت בדיוק אתה רוצה שאני אתלונן זה אבל אין הסכמה ביחסי מהות עזבתי את שלך אבל אם היית מגיעה אליך ואומרת לך שהיא נשארה לעבוד כל הלילה עם הבוס שלה ושהוא שכב, אתה לא היית אומרת לה להתלונן עליו?
תעזוב אותי כבר. זה היה ביוזמתי, סבבה? די, אין לי ככה.
תהיו שם ואז הרוח רפאים שלכם, של כולנו. אף פעם לא באמת מתחיל, אף פעם לא באמת נגמר. לופ אינסופי. הלך עלינו.
Thanks, Dan. Allah, I don't know if you can hear us at all. He seems to have frozen on the screen. So we're just going to try get Allah back online. Dan has just messaged him as well. And we may just need him to... We may just need to get... Okay, I'm just muting Allah as we try to get his camera back on, and as soon as it's on, we'll continue. He's busy speaking to Dan at the moment, but let us in fact. I see Allah is busy messaging me.
Howie?
Hi.
I'll try to go on with the phone. I have no other option because the computer just, the internet, I don't know, it's not working. I'm trying to go with the phone.
Okay. Cool. Perfect. So we'll see you come on as soon as you get on there.
So I'll just click on the Zoom link that you sent me on WhatsApp?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Cool.
Okay.
Thanks. Ciao.
Right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, so I'm sure you heard that. Allah's just, his internet has gone. He's going to link in on his phone. And while he does that, just to tell people that our president is addressing the nation at 8 o'clock. If he has anything of note to tell us, we'll post it in the chat section. So Dan, you'll be monitoring what our president is saying and you'll be posting anything there. In the interim, please, if you haven't told us where you are, we'd love to find out where in the world you've tuned in from. We want to welcome all our people in the United States and Canada. Ori tells us that we've got a huge number of people there. I see we also have people who've joined us from France, from Brazil. We always have some people who watch us in Nigeria and Kenya and Pakistan, and lots of people. I see Raul is in Dubai and Erev Tov. We've got people in Chicago, in the United States. We have people in Indiana and Santa Monica, lots of people in Israel, some people in Los Angeles, Cape Town, Johannesburg. Glen Hazel seems to feature quite prominently. Lots of Canadians. Dan, what do you think it is that brings Canadians to watch us? We have heaps and heaps of Canadians.
Well, there are a lot of ex-South Africans in Canada, and clearly a lot of Dakka fans as well, a lot of FAUDA fans. There's Danielle from Chattanooga. I think that's Tennessee. Wow.
I think definitely. And I see we have people in Edmonton in Canada. We've got lots of people in London and Santon, Johannesburg. And we also have Mexicans who are watching us tonight and people in Florida. You haven't told us if that's in Florida, USA. Oh, Boynton Beach, which I presume is in Florida, USA.
As opposed to Florida West Rand.
And we've got people watching us in Saudi Arabia. Welcome to you all. And I don't know how to spell that. Lamory in Wyoming in USA. And we have people in Port Elizabeth as well. So Dan, I'm going to ask you to turn off your camera and to try see if you can assist Allah getting back online. And in the meantime, let's in fact bring Ori back. If you can unmute yourself, Ori.
Sure.
So, Ori, we were talking a little earlier while we're waiting for Allah to come back to us. We were talking a little earlier about the program that you've running. You've taken most, in fact, of your programs online. What other events have you done similar to this?
Look, we started, as I mentioned at the beginning, from March. We were really one of the first organizations in Israel and worldwide that decided to have a daily, but at the evening session with Zoom. Speaking about Israel from different angles, it can be culture. We had a band that gave us different types of Israeli songs. We had movies under our Beta Am films that speaks about the Aliyah from Ethiopia, from Russia, about the army. We bring lecturers that did great service in South Africa and in Africa about medical aid. We spoke about, it was during Yom HaAtzmaut, we had the Israeli party online with a band. We had the Yom HaZikaron with the mother of Tamar Ariel, who was in the Israeli Air Force. That was during Israel Yom HaZikaron. And in fact, it's a great opportunity to mention that starting in Elul, or in Rosh Chodesh Elul, and the whole month of Slichot month, we are preparing a big variety of programs that will offer twice a week under iVision Live that will speak about the Slichot. And we are working to have a virtual tour of Slichot in Jerusalem that we thought that people are not able to come to Jerusalem and do the actual Slichot tour. So we're going to do that for them with a guide and a virtual video live under iVision Live. So I invite everyone to go on our Facebook page of the Department for Diaspora Affairs and follow us there. Over there, we'll offer all the programs we're having for the next months. You know, when we first started, we thought, let's think of programs for the March, April, Passover. And slowly, we're continuing to think of creative ways and creative programs for our communities worldwide.
So that means you're probably thinking about Hanukkah at the moment.
I hope not. Let's agree that we're planning until Rosh Hashanah, and hopefully we'll end our virtual iVision Live in Rosh Hashanah for the good of everyone.
Allah tells us he'll be back in probably about 1 minute, but in the interim, we'd like to, in fact, see a video of what the South African Zionist Federation is doing during this period of COVID together with the South African Friends of Israel. So we'd love to see it. Dan, if you get an opportunity, if you could put on that video, we'd be enormously grateful.
Let me mention one small thing until it goes up. Before Slichot, we have Tu B'Av. Tu B'Av, the Israeli Hebrew calendar, Tu B'Av is the Jewish Valentine's Day. So we invite everyone on the 5th of August. We're going to have a special performance of Achinoam Nini, which is Noah, the singer. So you can watch her live performance for the Jewish Valentine's Day of Tu B'Av. That's 5th of August.
For over 100 years, the South African Zionist Federation has been the bridge between South Africa and Israel, bringing the best of the Holy Land to the beloved country, and vice versa. That's why, during this time of unprecedented corona crisis, the Fed is working tirelessly to access the latest medical technology from Israel, so that we can contribute to the national fight against COVID-19. Just recently, for example, the SAZF partnered with Israeli startup Synovia Tech to donate cutting-edge medical masks to Hatzola Medical Rescue. And the Israeli-developed Chagai volunteer food delivery application is being used with great success to facilitate food deliveries within the Jewish community. Meanwhile, the SAZF's flagship program, South African Friends of Israel, is also stepping up to the plate. SAFI is an organization dedicated to creating a united coalition with other religious, cultural, ethnic groups in the interests of building a broader grassroots support base for Israel in South Africa. SAFI's activities include combating BDS and other delegitimization campaigns, hosting events and gatherings for a diverse community of pro-Israel advocates, and supporting public figures, such as the Chief Justice of South Africa, who have come under fire for their views. Now, in this time of pandemic, our friends and supporters need our help. That's why SAFI has been busy organizing food parcels and feeding schemes, offering a much-needed lifeline to thousands of people who are going hungry as a result of the ongoing pandemic. With no jobs, no food, a deteriorating economy, and bitter winter weather, the situation really is dire. So please, let's come together as a community to help the Fed and SAFI keep hunger at bay. You can show your support by making a deposit into our dedicated coronavirus fund. No amount is too small, and every cent we raise will go towards putting food on the tables of our society's most vulnerable members. Make your donation now using these payment details. Be a light unto the nations by making your contribution today. And please, share this video to spread the word about Israeli tech fighting COVID-19. The South African Zionist Federation and South African Friends of Israel, making a difference where it matters most.
Okay, there you are. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
Hello, great to have you back with us.
Howie, we seem to have lost your video.
Can you hear me, guys?
Yeah, got you, Ala.
Yeah. All right.
You're back. Welcome.
I'm back. Thank you very much. Sorry for to keep you guys waiting. I'm so sorry. The internet just broke down. I don't know what's going on with the internet these days.
Well, you're definitely worth waiting for. Let's tell you what we did while you're away. We watched your performance on The Voice. We've watched your show reel, and we've in fact watched a video about the South African Zionist Federation and the South African Friends of Israel and how they're helping people during COVID. And we're going to play that video right at the end as well, so people will be able to make a donation through to the Zionist Federation. But Ala, just before we got cut off, we were talking about you appeared on The Voice. How did it go? Did anyone turn their chair around for you?
Unfortunately not. No one turned for me. That was a complete heartbreak. It was a heartbreak for me. I think it's a heartbreak for any artist that tries to go on and goes to reality shows, and that reality shows has always a lot of lighting and sound and a lot of excitement. So when something doesn't work on that much time, I mean that much of excitement, it's a complete heartbreak. And I think I was heartbroken for a while, and it took me about a while to go back from it and to actually be willing to try again as an artist or as an actor. Actually, I never got back to be on stage with music as a musician ever since. I went back and I went to acting, and I started to perform as an actor and on stage, on the theater and TV. And so the music slowly was kept aside, but hopefully I'm still optimistic, and I think that things are to come. Things are to come, and we are not giving up yet. So although it looks like some sort of I made my dreams come true as an actor, my stomach is still starving, and I'm still starving for new adventures. So I think that's keeping me in a good mode.
So let's talk about your acting, because you've appeared on stage, you've appeared in a number of movies. In fact, before you in the previous room we were in, before your computer broke down, in fact, there was a poster from your first film. Tell us about that.
Well, when I finished acting studio, I started working at the theater in the Beersheba Theater. The Beersheba is where I grew up, so I started working there in the theater. Started from small roles, and slowly but surely I started getting bigger and bigger roles and getting more confident on the stage. And around this time, I don't remember exactly when, but around this time I started to have auditions to roles in the cinema and in the television. And the first role I got was one day of shooting, one scene in the comedy show in Israel, and then I got another role in Eran Kulirin's movie, which is called Beyond the Mountains and the Hills. It's a movie that came out in 2015, and then the roles. Thank God, the roles came one after another, and I was able to start making a living as an artist, which is a lot more than you can expect, a lot more than you can wish for, especially these days. But still my internet is broken down, so I don't know anymore, you know.
So you also appeared in a series called Mossad, which is on Netflix in South Africa at the moment. Tell us about that series. How did you get that role?
I made several auditions, but the director says that he knew that I'm gonna take the part from the first audition show. I don't know, but it was a great part. It was very interesting for me to investigate the Arab Muslim world through a Mossad agent. So I remember it was Ramadan, and I'm a Muslim, but I never kept Ramadan really. So it was very interesting for me to keep Ramadan for the first time in my life for a role. So I was like, I needed to make myself, was really funny experiment, because it's like sort of I kept my home rules for something that is outside for my work, for my projects. So it was very interesting for me to this experience was very interesting for me. It was very, very interesting for me to go through a Mossad agent's mind. And the shooting was in Ukraine. We shot there for about a month, and it's a great city. It's a crazy city. I've never visited anything like that. It's like a big city and has a lot of pubs and bars, and people are sort of open-minded, and it was very, very interesting experience for me. So
So
yeah.
now you become a name in the acting community in Israel, and FAUDA hits the scenes, but you never actually watched the first few series of FAUDA. Why is that? It seemed like such an obvious thing for any Israeli to do, to be watching FAUDA.
Well, FAUDA is a very well-known series in Israel. Everybody knows it. Everybody talks about it. Everybody know what's going on, who's the characters. So I don't know why. It was something more we can talk about it, but it was more like an intuition for me to think that I want to bring myself to the role, and to bring myself to FAUDA and not bring FAUDA into me, because I wanted to be authentic as much as possible. So it was very important for me to to try, at least try, and not watch the series. I was very, I mean, I really wanted to. I thought about it many times. I thought about it many times that maybe it's the right thing. Maybe that's my job. Maybe the right thing will be to watch the first two seasons of the show. But eventually I decided that I want to bring myself, and it would help me to be more authentic to myself and more authentic to the story if it will be told by somebody who never saw or don't know what's going to happen or what FAUDA should be like. But of course, I watched the two seasons right after the shooting, right after we finished shooting. So,
So how did you get your audition for FAUDA?
well, I first heard about that movie like from somebody that heard from somebody that there might be looking for a role of a boxer. I didn't even know what that means. But the first thing the first thing I did was to sign into the gym and start running. So I started running and starting to slowly change my way of living. I used to be a smoker and used to wake up, not very early, and I needed to get like 100% to wake up every morning 7:30 or 6:30 for a run, and then 7:30 for another gym. So it was I needed to put myself in a different state of mind, and it was really hard for me, but it was an opening goal for me, because from now on I want to try to put myself in every role that I do in a different state of mind, and every role puts you through many things. But I think the role in FAUDA teached me of how much do you need to put yourself in a different state of mind for a role that is basically very far from me, because I was never an athlete. So I needed to learn how is it to be an athlete first before I go into that role. And I did several auditions. Avi Saskharov, the scriptwriter and the creator of the show, says that he knew that I want to take the part. But I did several auditions, several matches, several tries with several actors. It was a long. I mean, I first heard about the role on July, and I got the role in the 1st of December. So it was like 5 months of making auditions and not knowing, getting bigger and fatter and eating more and not without knowing what's going to happen really. So it was a hard time, but it was worth it. I mean, I'm really happy I did it eventually.
So did you have a boxing coach?
I do. I have a boxing coach till today that I mean, I'm doing trainings here and there, because I really fell in love with this. It's really taking a lot of your anger out, and I think it's very important for somebody. It's very important for us just to have a place where we can just take our anger out, because I mean, we're consuming I mean, we have so much anger in our body. I think we need to find a way to just put it out somewhere. It's a bag, or we just need a bag. I think every human being on this planet needs a bag to hit. I mean, needs something to hit from every once in a while. So it was a great adventure for me. It's a very, very hard sport. It's one of the hardest sports I've ever heard of. The training are hard. It's very, very needs a lot of skills that I didn't have, and I don't have it till today, but I'm not a professional boxer. I'm really happy I'm not, because I'm happy I'm not a professional boxer.
It's hard work. So we asked Colin Nathan, who's probably the top boxing coach in South Africa, to review some of your boxing and to comment on how you did. So Colin, welcome. Nice to have you with us.
Firstly, Viva, thanks for having me on the show. And Allah, respect and credit to you. I've worked with actors, obviously, over the years in boxing. And you just have to cast your mind back to Will Smith when he played the star in Ali, and he did a really, really good job. So in fairness, and to be candid with you, I don't watch your show, and I was watching snippets of your movements and stuff. You got great coordination. If I could just give you a little bit tip, try and loosen up a little bit, try and get into a little bit more flow when you're doing your movements. But again, like I have to say, like I got big respect for any actor who knows nothing about the sport of boxing, getting in there, training, and it's just one of those things where there is something very empowering hitting something or hitting a bag. Hopefully not, you're not going to be hitting someone. But if ever you're in South Africa, come around and I'll make you a champion.
Whoa, okay, I'm ready for that.
Colin, you mentioned to me something about Allah's stance, that he stands too upright when he boxes,
Yeah,
that he should be more crouched down.
Yeah, and I mean, you got to understand, like he said, he's not a professional fighter or even an amateur boxer, but he's been working really hard on what he's been doing. And that's why I think, a little bit more flow, a little bit more rhythm. And maybe when you're training in the gym with your boxing coach, maybe put on some Spanish music just to kind of get a little bit more flow going, and bend your knees. You want to try and bend your torso. You're smiling because maybe your trainer's already said this to you. Am I right?
Come again, one more time? Just the last sentence.
No, what I'm saying to you, you're smiling because maybe your trainer's already said this to you. Am I right in saying that?
Oh, no. We were working really hard, but we never tried to use Spanish music. That's new, and I like that. I really like that. I'd really like to do. I mean, I think I'm going to try it. I think that sounds fun. That makes it fun.
So Colin, box like a flamenco dancer is what you're saying?
Yes, and remember, fight like a Hollywood boxer, hit but don't get hit.
Exactly.
Colin, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me on, guys. Take care. God bless.
Really appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Allah, you get the role. Your family start watching the show, obviously. And what do they think?
Well, they admitted I'm talented. They admitted that I'm good at what I'm doing, but they can't say it's a safe thing to do for a living. But my dad told me, you can do it. Like, you can do it very well. You should be proud of yourself. I mean, me and my dad, we came closer in the last couple of years because things started to work for me, and it got us, it bonded us back together. And so I think that the last couple of years when I started, it's less about the roles. It's more about the fact that I started making a living. Like, I started to be able to pay rent, the basic stuff that I can live from what I'm doing. And I think that changed his perspective about me, and he believes in me, I think, now more, and my family's happy about it. I mean, my family really liked the Mossad show, Mossad 101. I saw somebody asking about the name of the show. It's Mossad 101. So they really liked that show. I think they like FAUDA. I played a lawyer in one of the TV series in Israel. So they really extremely liked that show. My dad was happy to see me a lawyer. It was short, but it was good. And yeah, I mean, we're close today, me and my family. Very close.
And so tell us what it's like on the set of FAUDA. Describe a day, you come onto set, you're filming. What is it like? How do the people get on? Tell us about the actual environment you work in.
Well, first of all, the set of FAUDA is very big. We come in the morning. Probably I'll come on an early call because they needed to fix a lot of things about the beard and some scars, and the scars always get the first calls. So that's the first thing you do. You sit on a chair for about 35 minutes and you get everything done before shooting. And if it's a special day that it has some special effects like guns and cars or something like that. So there's a guy named Penny, and he comes to us and he gives us instructions about the guns and how dangerous they are. Although they don't really shoot real bullets, they're still dangerous because he says that every 1,000 bullet, one real bullet is getting out. So he got the whole production really scared about the guns, and so we work the whole day. It's like a 12, 11 hours day. We work, we shoot the scenes. There's a lot of good tension before shooting a scene. Like the director Rotem Shamir really knows how to put the whole set into some sort of tension that is very important. Some of the scenes, it's very important that the tension of the scene will be on the set before the scene is shot. So Rotem Shamir really knows how to put the whole group together, and Leo Raz really knows how to gives the confidence we need to shoot the scenes. And it's also fun, of course. I mean, it's very, very fun. It's what we love doing. It's just we want it to be special. We want it to be unique. We want it, I mean, it's a work, but it's something, it's like some sort of a journey that each and every one of us is having. And so we all meet in that journey, in that spot of time. And we try to have fun, and we try to make it the best we can for the audience, of course, so they can enjoy it and they can feel it's authentic as much as we can.
Tell us about that first meeting when you and Leo Raz meet for the first time, and you're going to be spending an awful lot of time together, parts as friends, parts as enemies. What is it like at that first moment where you meet?
It was crazy for me. I saw Leo Raz's face many times before, but I never met him in person, of course. But I mean, he's very unique. He knows how to be the manager and the boss of and the mind behind the set. He gives you a lot of confidence. So the first time I saw him, I said to myself, man, I mean, that guy gives me that confidence that what I'm going to do is going to be good. So he really gave me a lot of, we started boxing together. Actually, the first time we met was in a boxing, we started boxing. The first time I know the guy, and he's hitting my face. So it was very, very close. I mean, you can't know really a guy unless he hits your face first. So we started boxing in the gym, and Leo is in really, really good shape and really, really good. He has natural talent for boxing. I think he really has natural talent for boxing. He's very strong, like physically. We had a very, very first, very authentic connection. I think we felt, I mean, the bond between us made the characters happen from the first moment we met. He was a professional. I mean, he had natural gift for boxing or for wrestling, and I didn't have it, and I needed that confidence to make that happen. And I took that kind of confidence from him, and he gave me that confidence as much as I needed for that thing to happen, for me to be comfortable on set. And I was comfortable.
So let's talk about this unique relationship between your characters, Doron and Bashar, because it's almost like a bizarre love story. When people meet the two of you for the first time and for the first few episodes of it, it feels like true brotherhood, true love, and then the betrayal begins. Like, how did you create that sense of love and friendship? And what was that journey like as that love starts to deteriorate and it goes almost from love to betrayal to hurt to anger?
Well, first of all, the reason the hate and the betrayal was so strong is because the love was so strong. Nobody can hurt us like the people that are close to us. And I think Bashar knows from the very, I mean, on the opening scene, Bashar looks at Doron as something he needed, as a friend, as an older brother, as a father, as a character of a role model he needed in his life. And Doron fills that spot in his heart. And I mean, when you have a role model, when you have something you look up to, when that thing hurts you or changes his face in one moment, or everything you ever dreamed changes in one moment and tells you that nothing that you know is what you thought it would be, I think that betrayal, when that happens, the whole love, I mean, the whole need for him, he's still needing him. I mean, his dad is coming back from prison, but he doesn't know his dad at all. like almost at all. He grew up without him. So he knows Doron, and Doron is his father. Doron is what he needs. And when he loses it in one point and realizes that Doron is not only not what he thought it would be, but an enemy, when this whole love, and really like he admires him, when this whole love goes to the other side, to hate and to revenge, I think that what starts the chronic fall down of the whole season. I think the love that happening on the first two episodes is the motor that triggers the whole fall down of that relationship. So that's why I knew that it was very important for the audience to see, which was real, definitely, that Bashar not only a friend of Doron, Bashar sees Doron as he needs. And I looked up for places where Bashar needs Doron from his heart, like really needs him. And the fact that his father is not there, I needed to fill that space with Doron. And I thought when we shot it, I thought imagine your father, my own father tells me that everything I thought about him, that it's complete different, that he has a different identity. You can't even imagine that. It was very hard to even imagine. But I knew it was very crucial for the season. I knew it was very crucial for Bashar. It was crucial for the rest of the things to happen.
As the character's relationship deteriorates, what happens to your personal relationship with Leo Raz? Does it remain exactly the same, or is there distancing that happens on set between you guys?
No. We can't work. I mean, what you see live, what you see in the show is the relationship we had. I mean, it's something, of course, it came with some sort of, I wanted him to be my friend. I wanted Leo to be, I looked up, when I first saw the guy, I knew what's important for me, for the role, for the character, but it wasn't hard to find it. It wasn't hard to make it true, because that guy has a terrific life story that you look at his life story and you realize how strong that guy is, how much he moved from one company to another in order to make FAUDA happen. And you can't not admire him. You can't not see what a great person he is. So it was really, I was really proud that I'm working with that guy, with that kind of person, not even an actor, with that kind of person, to learn from that kind of person. So I knew Bashar needed that kind of relationship, but it wasn't hard for me to really build it with Leo.
And as the relationship on screen deteriorates between the two characters, what happens on the set? Do you remain as close as you were on the set, or is there a sense that what's happening on the screen actually is impacting on your personal relationships as well?
Well, of course, it can be very confusing. It can be very confusing to first hate and then love him, and so when we had the strong scenes, when we had the scenes where I needed to when Bashar it's on the break there, and it's on the edge. So the opposite is true. I needed to be more confident. So we talked about it. We shared ideas, and of course, we stayed friends, and we're still friends till today. Nothing happened between us. I love that guy. I mean, we're friends till today, and the fact that you're, playing or acting anger or hate, you need confidence. And so I needed more confidence from the set in order to put these colors out of me. And so the opposite is right. We came closer. We actually came closer with the series until today.
And so what happens at the end of the day of the shooting? Does the cast all go out and have a drink together? Does everyone go home and say, see you tomorrow? Is there a fraternal bond between the people on the set?
First of all, of course, there is a real bond happening on people on the set. We work together. We spend a lot of hours together. We even came out. We went out for a couple of drinks together. Yeah, of course, that happens. I live in Tel Aviv now. most of the set are people with families, so they don't go out for drinks. I do go for drinks, but we went for drinks. Of course, we went. I mean, we had parties together. We're friends. We're still keeping in touch until today. Yeah, it's like colleagues, like people working in the same place. The emotions, the only thing that the only difference is that actors really need to give each other confidence and to build for each other a safe zone where everybody can feel comfortable with with giving the heart colors out of her soul out on the screen. So building a comfortable zone is very important. So when you need to build a comfortable zone, that's what's so beautiful about cinema. It's that you work together as a team for for everybody, because no matter who's on the set, if one person is upset on the set, so everybody feels it. That's why it's very important to build a comfortable zone for everybody, not only the actors. So, so building a comfortable zone requires friendship. So we build friendships, we build connections between us, and yeah,
So
well, I think we're
how
all
long?
sharing the same love.
How long did it take to film season 3? How long is this band of brothers together?
We started shooting on March, and we finished on July. 4 months. 4 months. It took us 4 months to shoot that series. If I don't remember the exact amount of days, but it's about I think 80 days, something around that. It's
So
like
you're
almost no, it's more than 80. It's like almost 4 months, between 3 and 4 months.
you're obviously not shooting in Gaza itself. Where are the outside scenes all filmed?
Well, Gaza was we needed to build Gaza, so they took top shots. The shots that are shot from above are really from Gaza itself, and it was sent to the production by a guy that lives in Gaza, I think. And the inside, the down part where they actually inside Gaza, they built. There is a base camp in the desert called Selim, which the soldiers train for if they ever need to go in Gaza, they train there. So the production rented that place for shootings, and they change and they colored it, and they build a set. They built like a Hollywood set in Israel terms. So they needed to like color it, and the production really did a fantastic job, like unbelievable. So when you take the down to earth shots, that was the set that was actually built from the training base camp, and you added the top shots that was from above, that builds you the feeling that you're really in Gaza.
So let's talk about the effect that FAUDA's had on the Israeli population, the Arab world, because it's probably one of the most nuanced series you could ever have. Everyone's a good guy and everyone's a terrible guy. And therefore there are no sides to be taken, because you have sympathies on both sides while watching it. You have anger on both sides while watching it. How has the series been received, for example, in the Israeli-Palestinian community, in the Palestinian community in the West Bank, and within the Arab world?
Well, I can tell you what happened in the Arab world. I am not sure about what happened to FAUDA in the Palestinian world, in the Arab Palestinians that live in Israel and the Palestinians that live outside of Israel. I'm not very sure. I got some messages from people that live inside, from outside of the borders, that they like the show, that they like FAUDA. But on the Arab world, I can tell you that was insane. It broke records in like 4 countries. It was one of the most watched 10 shows, like the best 10 shows. I think it was Lebanon. I think it was Egypt. It was Lebanon, Egypt, the UAE, and Jordan. That's 5 countries. That was like one of the most viewed shows. I think it's all of these 5 countries. It was insane. I got many messages from these countries. Some of them are good, some of them are bad, but of course, you can take them. You take them both. Some of them are very happy and like FAUDA very much. Some of them, why did you do it? Why are you doing it? Why are you showing us that way? So I got from all over. That's, as an actor, you get that. You get that. You like some sort of, people really think you are in charge of the script. People really think you are like the characters, like you are really deciding what you're gonna do, and so they're mad, and of course they're gonna. I mean, of course they're gonna tell you they're mad because they're the character. They don't know anybody else. But it was great. I mean, I took that. It was very important for me to hear this side as well, because I think it's real. And I think it comes from a reason that I'm curious to know, that I'm not sure I know, but I'm really happy I got both of the kinds of comments, both good and bad. Never about the acting, always about the ending, but I got both. I mean, I'm happy about it. I'm really happy about it. If everything was good, I would suspect something.
Do you think a show that nuanced, in fact, helps build bridges between people? That's a question from one of the people watching. And if you do have any questions for Dakka, please put them into the Q&A section, at the bottom of the screen, a button at the bottom of the screen, and we'll try and get to it over the next few minutes. So, Ala, do you think it's broken down barriers and created more understanding between different groups?
Well, first of all, so. But what I do think is that it gives a picture, or it talks about the conflict. It talks about the complexity of the conflicts. It talks about how good people become evil, or evil people become good, and the good and the bad over there is so mixed. I mean, it's so mixed inside each other, so you never know who's good, who's bad, what's good, what's bad. So I think that the fact that it's talking about the conflicts and showing its complicity and how much it's complicated, I think that's what's doing the change. I think that's what's doing the borders that we're talking about. People are talking about it. It doesn't matter if it's good or bad. The fact that they're talking about it.
Sorry, we've had probably about 30 questions that are all exactly the same. Will there be a season 4 of FAUDA?
Well, first of all, yes, there will be a season 4 of FAUDA. They're working on it right now. So the answer is yes. I don't know anything about me inside the season 4. I know a little bit, but I cannot give any details. But the question, will there be a season 4 of FAUDA? Yes, the answer is yes.
Is there an answer to the question, will Dakka be a performer in season 4?
Well, I am not sure, because I have no information about what they're doing over there, Avi and Leo. They're sitting, they're writing, they're working on it. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what they're writing. They refuse to give any information of any source. So I can only wish for the best, I guess.
So a few people have asked the question as well, and they want to know, how close is the series to reality? Now, obviously, you haven't personally been in those situations, but Leo has. Is he trying to recreate experiences that he's had, or is this a far more dramatic version of the life he lived?
I'm not sure about this question, but I can tell you that what happened to Bashar is a story that happened many, many times, that any people get, not always because of Israel, but something happens and they get into problems and they don't know how to go out of these problems. Sometimes it's money, sometimes it's people that are chasing them, sometimes they're running from many reasons, and people are putting their life on, I mean, risking their life for things they don't believe in, or for putting their hands in violence they don't believe in, because of problems that has nothing to do with the conflict. And sometimes really it's some sort of the conflict that comes from around and pulls these people down. So I think, I don't know if to talk about the whole reality, I'm not sure about that. I was never in the borders, not as a soldier, and I was there only to buy groceries once when I was 20 with my father. So that's the only thing I know about it. So but I can say that the story of Bashar is real and it happened before.
while you was filming season 3, were there any moments, and there's some enormously dramatic moments in that. So I said to you earlier, every time I watch an episode of FAUDA, I have to check in for therapy because I think I'm suffering from a PTSD. But were there any moments when you were acting something in FAUDA and you suddenly thought, oh damn, like this is a life-changing moment for me as an actor, or I'm about to portray something, I'm stopping to actually think about what I'm actually doing? Or is this just a profession, you're doing what's on the script, you're walking away at the end of the day?
No, of course, everything you do, everything you say is mixing with your soul. And a lot of the things that you're saying, you try, if you don't agree with what you're saying, or if you don't agree with the script, or if you have questions about it, you need, as an actor, to find a way that suits you the best. I mean, that you can speak that, I mean, that you can believe in what you're saying. It's very important that you believe in what you're saying. So, for instance, if I needed to kill Yara, if I needed to kill Yara at the end of the show, at the end of the last episode, I needed to find a reason why I'm doing that. I needed to find a reason for me, because I couldn't look at it. I couldn't look at it and tell myself that Bashar is killing a little girl. I needed to find what he really kills in himself. So everything you do, you try to, of course, you have to believe in it. You have to believe in what you're doing, what you're saying. And if you don't, you need to find a way to say the things that you believe in. And if I had a really, really special moment, I think it was the day that we shot that scene with Yara in the last episode. It was a Memorial Day. And the siren, it's the day in Israel when there's a memorial and there's sirens in the evening. They remember the soldiers that died in the wars. And it's a very, very tricky and very, very complicated day for me. So to shoot that kind of scene, me holding a gun to a little girl, and that kind of scene in a Memorial Day, at the end of the day, there is a siren. It was very, very, very complicated for me. So I think I really felt in that day that the fact that it's so hard for me means I'm doing something good.
So how has FAUDA changed your life? Are you a celebrity? Do you walk down the streets of Tel Aviv and do people stop you and want selfies with you and autographs? How has your life changed? Has fame changed you at all?
Well, first of all, my life changed, definitely. I'm talking to you guys. There are people from South Africa who knows who I am. That's insane. I never thought that would happen. I never thought it would happen ever in a million years. And I'm dying to come to your country and sit on a chair and just laugh with all you guys and just talk about it and just do something. I mean, it's insane. I can't take that for granted. Never. My life changed. The fact that I'm talking to you, the fact that people recognize me in the street and more pictures, of course. And more of that, the fact that I realized that that I reached that point still hungry, and I'm happy about it. If I would have reached that, I mean, if I would have reached that point feeling like feeling like that's it, or I want to do something else, or I'm not hungry anymore. No, I reached that point hungrier than I've ever been in my life. So I think my life have changed, but like still I know that that's what I want to do. I want to touch people. I want to make them feel. I want to make them ask questions about their lives, about their identities, and that's the most important thing to me. No matter how I do it. I mean, I'm happy I did it right now as an actor. I might do it in music. I mean, I got to that point. My life have changed, but I'm still hungry and I still want more.
I know we're running out of time, and you gave us an hour, and we went a little over because we had a few technical problems along the way.
Sorry about that.
No problem.
I'm ready to answer the questions of the audience. I mean, I'm okay with that. I mean,
fantastic. Yossi says, "Can you give us a Bashar voice?"
Oh, I saw that question. My voice is Bashar voice. What you hear right now is Bashar speaking to you just in English. And I don't know. I thought about it, but it makes me. I mean, it's weird. It's weird for me because it's me. It's always me. It's always has been me. So I hope I answered that question.
We have a question that says, tell us about your co-stars. And someone else says that Yehuda Levy is in fact South African and he grew up in South Africa until about age 13.
Yeah, that's right. Until 14. Yeah, he left when he was 14. That's right.
So tell us a little about your co-stars. Are there different cliques within the set, or is everyone one big team?
Well, I think everybody. I mean, in Israel, the industry is very small, so everybody pretty much knows everybody. That of course actors, but also not actors. It's a very, very small industry, so so everybody knows everybody. So everybody's sort of friends. I don't understand like the cliques you're talking about. If you can make that question more clear.
No, so everyone gets on, but give us one or two snippets about your co-stars. Tell us what makes them interesting.
What makes other actors interesting?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. It's other actors. I mean, it's you're putting me in a place where I don't want. I don't know.
Okay, you don't have to answer that question. One of the questions that came us that says, tell us about your religious affinity and that of your family. You told us the first time you actually observed Ramadan was on set.
Yeah, I mean, my family is Muslim, 100% Muslim. My mom is religious. I mean, we're Muslim, my whole family. And I was like always looking on that like from a side, so I never took a part of it really. And the first time I took a part of it was for a role, and so I'm Muslim today, and I'm gonna do a role of a Muslim soon on a new movie. So I'm back to it like right now, reading it and try to understand its philosophy. And I'm Muslim. My whole family is Muslim. I think many generations of Muslims.
We have a question that wants to know how you studied acting. Did you go to university? Was it an acting school? Where did you actually learn to act?
Well, I went to an acting studio in Beersheba, my hometown where I grew up. It's a new acting studio called Goodman Acting Studio, which is it's about 10 years. I think it's 10 years old. It's very, very new, and I went there for 3 years.
Jason and Lisa want to know, they say, tell us about Doron. Is he as tough in real life as he is in his character?
Doron is tough on the outside, but he is soft in the inside. Very, very soft. Yeah. He's tough. He has his tough side, but he's also very soft. Very understandable. A very understanding person.
And I think we are running out short of time. A question from R. Mayer says, do you feel positive about the future in Israel?
As an actor, well, yeah, I feel like, well, it's a very good question, first of all. But I feel that it's hard in Israel to be an actor, but it's also an opportunity. And I'm going to look for the opportunity. And that's what's better for me to look at. I mean, I'm seeing the opportunity, and that in Israel, I know the people and I can understand them, and I can make the greatest roles because I understand. I mean, you can make a good role because you understand the personality. And in Israel, I understand the personalities more. So that's why I think that the best parts probably will be if I stay here. But I have dreams for working abroad, of course. Yeah.
So the last question, Dakka, you have become somewhat of a sex symbol in Israel. What does it feel like to be an Israeli sex symbol?
Well, I don't know if I become a sex symbol, but I do become a very respected and I think I'm taken more seriously now after FAUDA, because I proved that I can do a role that has a long line of that can lead a story. So about being a sex symbol, I'll take that. I mean, of course, I'll take that as a compliment, 100%. But I don't know how to drive through it. So I think less of a sex symbol. I think I become something that I made myself confident. Also about taking responsibility over big roles. Also for making giving myself opportunities like creating my own cinema and going deeper in that business, going deeper, as deep as I can.
Well, Allah, thank you so much for joining us this evening. It's been such an honor and such a pleasure to speak to you. I think you've seen from the questions coming in and the thousands of people who've watched tonight, you have a massive following in South Africa. The show's a huge international hit. People cannot wait for season 4 to come out. Do you have any idea when season 4 will be?
Well, I know that they're writing it right now. They're working on it. I'm not sure on what part of the production they're at right now, but I know they're working on it, and I trust me, they're going to make it as soon as possible. I know it for a fact. I mean, I know it for a fact.
So tell us, at the present moment, there are about 2,000 Israelis being infected with COVID a day. It's clearly a problem. What's happening on the outside world? How are you spending lockdown? Tell us about your life at the moment. Are you locked up indoors?
Well, actually, I don't know if anybody's gonna. I mean, I don't know what's gonna happen if I say it, but we're not really in a lockdown yet. I mean, the numbers are rising, but the Israeli government is not has declared any lockdown yet. Maybe there is a lockdown, and I'm the only one that's going outside. That's also a possibility. I hope not, but there is no lockdown yet. It's very scary. I think we're going to go to a lockdown very, very soon because they didn't know what's going to happen. And hopefully, I don't know. I mean, look, things are surprising. This world is surprising. I hope for better days. Trust me, I really wish I could be there with you right now instead of talking to you to a computer and have a internet breaking down, which I'm very sorry about to all the viewers. And I'll take that as an opportunity also to say thank you for inviting me to the show, and thank you for all the viewers that came and watched it, and thank you very much for inviting me. Very much.
Well, we look forward to hosting you in person in South Africa, and I can't wait to sit on the beach in Clifton in Cape Town and stare out at Table Mountain together with you. So we look forward to your visit. Allah, thank you so much for giving of your time so kindly, and thank you for helping us raise some money for some unbelievable causes. You missed the video that we played about the Zionist Federation. Dan, don't you want to bring it up again just so Allah can actually see the video and the amazing work that the South African Friends of Israel are doing, bringing Israeli tech to South Africa, helping to feed those people who are literally starving. I mentioned to Allah earlier that, in fact, the current stipend, 570 Rand, which people get if they have no work, no employment, is about 65, 70 shekels. That doesn't go very far. So all of us are trying to do our part to make sure that our fellow South Africans don't starve during this terrible period of COVID. We're sitting at close to 400,000 infections in the country at the moment. And our death rate has passed 5,000, is heading very close towards 6,000 at the moment. So it's a huge problem here. Let's make sure that everyone stays sanitized, stays safe, wears a mask at all times. It's most importantly that we stick together to make sure we get through this difficult time. So Dan, play us the Zionist Fed video.
For over 100 years, the South African Zionist Federation has been the bridge between South Africa and Israel, bringing the best of the Holy Land to the beloved country, and vice versa. That's why, during this time of unprecedented corona crisis, the Fed is working tirelessly to access the latest medical technology from Israel, so that we can contribute to the national fight against COVID-19. Just recently, for example, the SAZF partnered with Israeli startup Synovia Tech to donate cutting-edge medical masks to Hatzola Medical Rescue. And the Israeli-developed Chagai volunteer food delivery application is being used with great success to facilitate food deliveries within the Jewish community. Meanwhile, the SAZF's flagship program, South African Friends of Israel, is also stepping up to the plate. SAFI is an organization dedicated to creating a united coalition with other religious, cultural, and ethnic groups in the interests of building a broader grassroots support base for Israel in South Africa. SAFI's activities include combating BDS and other delegitimization campaigns, hosting events and gatherings for a diverse community of pro-Israel advocates, and supporting public figures, such as the Chief Justice of South Africa, who have come under fire for their views. Now, in this time of pandemic, our friends and supporters need our help. That's why SAFI has been busy organizing food parcels and feeding schemes, offering a much-needed lifeline to thousands of people who are going hungry as a result of the ongoing pandemic. With no jobs, no food, a deteriorating economy, and bitter winter weather, the situation really is dire. So please, let's come together as a community to help the Fed and SAFI keep hunger at bay. You can show your support by making a deposit into our dedicated coronavirus fund. No amount is too small, and every cent we raise will go towards putting food on the tables of our society's most vulnerable members. Make your donation now using these payment details. Be a light unto the nations by making your contribution today. And please share this video to spread the word about Israeli tech fighting COVID-19. The South African Zionist Federation and South African Friends of Israel, making a difference where it matters most.
So Dan, if we can ask you just to put up the slide to allow people to donate. For those people, take your cell phones, take a picture of the banking details, or alternatively, just open your camera, point it at the snap scan or the wallet doc code, and it will open up an app and it will allow you to make a donation. So just point your camera at that code. You don't have to take a picture, and your camera will recognize it, and you'll see at the top, it will say open up wallet doc. We'd love you to help us, join us together with the South African Friends of Israel, the South African Zionist Federation, and the World Zionist Organization to make sure that people do not starve during this unbelievably difficult time. So we're going to leave that up for about another 10 seconds. Use your camera, take a picture of the banking details, click on wallet doc, make a donation now, and let's actually make sure that we do some good here tonight. Allah, thank you so much for your time. We're going to ask everyone to
Thank you very much. I just wanted to say what you're doing is great, very important. Keep doing that. Keep doing that.
We're going to ask you, we'd love to know if you've enjoyed tonight. We'd love to know what you thought of Allah. Please put some comments in the comment section. We'll send him all the comments as well. So tell us what you thought. Tell us what you enjoyed. Tell us what you love about FAUDA. Tell us what you thought about the character that Allah plays, Bashar. Tell us about the love-hate relationship, the frustration, the betrayal, the anger that has taken place. Allah, maybe as everyone turns on their cameras, talk us about that last minute or two of the final episode. You told us you filmed it on in fact, Memorial Day in Israel. And it is one of the most traumatic, maybe last minutes of any series ever filmed. Like,
wow, thank you very much.
When you watch that, when the army storms up the stairs and you're there on your knees, having just done what you've done, like when you watch that, what do you think?
I can tell you honestly, I think on that moment specifically that it's really hard because I don't know, I'm not that kind of person, and I felt like I need to defend myself in front of audience I don't know yet. And I wasn't sure. I mean, I wasn't sure that the thing that I decided before that day is that what Bashar is killing is his innocence. He wants everybody to stop looking at him as a little kid that doesn't know what's going to happen in his life. He's not innocent anymore. He's going to destroy it at all. He's vengeance and he's bad, and he wants to declare it. And it's not really him. He just wants everybody to know it. So I felt like I'm going to have to defend myself. But I felt when the show came out that people sort of, I don't know if understood what's happened, but they understood. I mean, they felt for him. They felt the destruction of his personality, the destruction of his life needed to be a disaster in the end. Tragic. I mean, it's a tragedy. It's their both lives are tragedy. He killed her and he destroyed his own life. And his life will not be the same anymore if ever he comes out of prison. So it was a very, very tragic day. you know, I started taking therapy because of that day, and I'm still taking therapy till today because too many thoughts, too many thoughts. It's like, wait a minute, I'm just an actor, man. I'm just a face. I'm just a face. And so it's very complicated. I think that moment is going to last for me for a while. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to say forever, but it's going to last me for years, and I'm going to think about it. But for now, I can say that what was important for me is that people understand the pain of Bashar.
That, I think, is the sign of a true genius actor that we've seen there. So what's next for Ala Dakka the actor?
Well, there's a series that's going to come out here in Israel, which I'm going to play a drug dealer, which is a complete different. It was a great pleasure with a new director over here, and there's a new the series is called The Dreamers. It's about four people that comes from Haifa to Tel Aviv and try to make a living and find themselves in drug dealing. And the next thing I'm going to do afterwards, I'm going to do a Muslim Egypt soldier. But unfortunately, I cannot give any more information about it. But trust me, everybody's going to hear about it when it comes out, hopefully. So.
Fantastic. I see Beth is saying to us, I've watched many Zoom interviews and discussions during the last 4 months, and I have to say this has been the most fun and interesting. Both Allah, who is fabulous, and it was so fantastic getting to learn all about him as a person and an actor. Thank you very much. Thank you for inviting. So Dan, turn on your camera. Ori, turn on your camera. Michael, Seif, everyone, come join us. And just a reminder, as we say goodbye to Allah, that we'll see you again on Saturday night. We have this amazing panel where we'll be putting together both survivors and the people who saved them, both in Rwanda, people from the Holocaust, Sugihara. The Sugiharas are joining us from Japan. Rabbi Yossi Goldman in South Africa's family was saved by Sugihara. Tully Nates, whose family were on Schindler's List. And in fact, experts in Schindler are joining us, and in fact, people from Rwanda, orphans who were saved by Reverend Wilkins, all of them joining, in fact, us on Saturday night. So we look forward to seeing you all 8 o'clock on Saturday night, and then again on Tuesday when we'll be discussing second passports. Mike, what did you think of this evening?
So I'm about to go onto Netflix and start watching from the beginning. Allah, you are amazing, and just the humility and your genuine sincerity comes through, and I only wish you success and growth, and I can see that internal and introspection, which is amazing. So thank you
very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for inviting. Thank you. It was a pleasure for me as well. I really enjoyed that evening. Thank you very much. It's really great to know you guys. Thank you.
Ori, thank you to you and to the World Zionist Organization, and in particular the Department of Diaspora Affairs. You guys are absolutely fantastic. Please say a thank you to Allah on behalf of you guys sitting just south of Tel Aviv.
Thank you. Thank you, Howard. Thank you, Allah. It was good to invite you to this session. We all enjoyed it. Toda rabba.
Toda rabba lechem.
Fantastic. And we're going to go. Allah, you have to send us off with one thing. You have to all wish us good night, stay safe, wear a mask, all in Arabic.
تصبحوا على خير، ديروا بالكم على حالكم وحطوا الكمامة على وجهكم. ما تنسوش الكمامة. كمامة is mask.
كمامة.
كمامة.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for joining us. Everyone, stay safe. You guys in Israel, it was 34 degrees today. We hope you're not sweating too badly. It's been only about 18 in Johannesburg today, but spring is coming soon. And with spring, let's hope we have better news on the COVID front. Tonight, our president, in fact, closed all government schools for the next 4 weeks. I'm sure, are all going to go online and watch a recording of our president's address tonight. But I think most people enjoyed Allah watching you tonight far better than they would have watching our president. So to all of you,
very much.
Thank you so much. Good night. See you again on Saturday. Bye.